Happy New Year, my dear friends. I'm Yun-tao, leader of China's political reform team. Since the White Paper Revolution in November last year, many friends have asked me a very important question. Can the Chinese people really overthrow the CCP? My answer is very clear. Yes. Because the CCP, the last and the greatest obstacle to the democratization of China, is dead. Xi himself buried it. The CCP is no longer a collective political organization, but again in Xi's pocket. All CCP leaders are no longer Xi's comrades, but his servants. If the CCP was the party of professional elites between 1978 and 2012, during the era of Deng Xiaoping, under the leadership of Deng and the presidencies of Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao, was uniting advanced Chinese citizens in the service of the people. After 20th Congress, the CCP has shown itself to have become a gang of misguided extremists in the service of their only master Xi, who has been preparing this coup for 10 years. The violent expulsion of former President Hu reflects both Xi's victory and the former's defeat. The Confucian's democratization is over and the way is paved for Xi's totalitarianism. China, my homeland and your friend, is now entering her deepest night, but also is the closest to the dawn of democracy she has been since 1949, when the CCP first took power. I will explain how to you now. First, all of us reformers came to a consensus on the CCP's destiny. Previously, there existed two camps: those who wanted to keep the CCP and to democratize China through reforming the CCP from within, like the constitutional royalists during the French revolutions and the end of Qing dynasty in China, and those who wanted to totally democratize China by rejecting the CCP, as the French and Chinese republicans who no longer wanted a monarchy did. These royalist communists were in the majority because their project seemed prudent, while the Republicans were in the minority because of their revolutionary project. However, from theory to practice, the project of the royalists proved impossible to carry out because communism, where the essence is class struggle, doesn't correspond to the Confucian tradition, where the essence is harmony. And the fact that the CCP has produced hundreds of millions of victims means that democratization cannot whitewash it or restore its legitimacy. It is the rule of heaven. In Chinese, we say 天道. Thus, any project relying on the CCP is doomed to failure. Since these projects were in the majority, they themselves prevented democratization. In fact, democratizing China by keeping the CCP is a policy of appeasement in the face of all its inexcusable crimes. This is the fundamental cause of the failure of the reformers of Deng and his fellows. They did not have the courage to expel communism in order to reform the party completely. As the policy of appeasement produced the Third Reich in the days of yesteryear, so as it produced Xi's Red Gun today. The Chinese call him Hitler. I had a plan to expel communism and restore Confucian democracy in China. However, the reformers born in the 15th and 16th did not dare to put it in place. Now, these royalist communists replaced by Hitler have unfortunately become the victims of their policy of appeasement. In other words, of their timidity. Faced with this communist Hitler, Chamberlain's time has passed. Children's time is coming. We must understand this rule of heaven. In the change between old and new eras, courage is much more decisive and pragmatic than prudence, even if the latter attitude is also necessary for a country of 1.4 billion inhabitants. Since Xi has excluded all reformers, including these royalists, from power, no reformer wants to keep the CCP, as it has already become a tool of Xi's dictatorship. The CCP is destined for death because no one wants to save it, even if we still need the best of its former members. It is no longer a burden or an obstacle to China's democratization. Xi is obtaining absolute power, yet at the same time he is creating the broadest union of all reform elites against himself and his personal party. This is a great turning point in China's democratization because those who supported the regime are now joining the opposition. The longer Xi occupies central power, the stronger and the broader the Chinese political reform camp becomes. The reformers may lose the battle fought from within the central power, but they will surely win the whole of China. Xi's success is infernal because he has made all Chinese elites his enemy. Finally, though the humanitarian catastrophes committed by Xi and his dogs, the Chinese people have woken up, especially the young people. The white paper revolution will go on, because everyone can suddenly be a victim of Xi's totalitarianism. There are no exceptions. Now the Chinese who sank into deep despair are finding their hope. The waves of revolts will become more and more numerous and serious everywhere in China. The violent crackdowns will cause Xi to lose more and more support. The majority of Chinese may not yet understand democracy, but they no longer want Xi or his regime. Under such circumstances, our China's political reform team's plan to achieve success in working towards China's democratization has gained increased recognition among reformers. It is a model of humanistic democracy based on the union of Confucian and Western democracies. You can find it in the previous video titled The Plan for Democratizing China. Look at it by clicking on the card at the top right corner of your screen. My dear friends, China today is getting closer to democracy than ever. Xi's gun will fall, at the earliest this year and at the latest in 5. I hope the free world recognizes this situation and comes together to support the Chinese people. To help you follow this great revolution, our channel has organized its content. For instance, by playlist Chinese Democratic Revolution, where we will share with you recent and important activities that are absent in English medias. I will add brief analysis for you to better understand. By playlist Democratizing China, where we will present our plan for democratization and its origin. Here we share our new concepts on democracy. I will be happy if it inspires you to consider your own democracy. By playlist Understanding the Real China of Our Ancestors, where we will introduce the real traditional China, its history, its culture, and its secrets. so that you can understand that communist China is not a real China. Then playlist Taiwan, where we will analyze the dangerous situation in the Taiwan Strait and share our solution to avoid the Third World War. Also, we will share some jokes about the CCP created by the Chinese people. Finally, I am writing a new book, Humanistic Democracy, Road to Free China. Humanistic democracy is the guarantee for making China's democratization a success, and it will be the main birthday of the new constitution of Free China. During my writing, I will be glad to share my progress. My dear friends, this totalitarianism began with a prepared plot, and it will end with unforeseen madness. We will all witness it. I invite you to support my fellow Chinese citizens' fight for freedom. As your first show of support, please share, like, comment on our videos and subscribe to our channel. Thank you all for democracy.